So many jazz influences in her voice.
I think I like you like that. I think I like you like that.
This little rasp in her sound. Kia ora and welcome, my name is Stevie and I'm your vocal coach for today, and we're going to be taking a look at part 3 in Alessia Cara's giant desk concert. I cannot wait. I'm obsessed with her, so if you want to check out the rest of her concert, hit that subscribe button so that we can geek out about her vocal technique. What's she up to with it? How is she creating these sounds? And most importantly, how on earth can you create these sounds? Just get straight to it.
We don't gotta be just a nighttime thing. Maybe we could see what the sunlight brings. All the other guys couldn't find where my heart is. Now I'm picking petals from gardens.
So many jazz influences in her voice now with this, now I'm picking petals in gardens, with those, using those consonants in order to close the sound, increase in breath for that cry sound. All of these are influences taken from jazz, and especially the way that she's moving with the melody. Let's just go back on that.
Just a nighttime thing. Maybe we could see what the sunlight brings. All the other guys couldn't find where my heart is. Now I'm picking petals from gardens.
Oh, the garden. Adding in that little bit of, I like to call it a bit of shimmer in there as the vibrato gets introduced. Gardens. Absolutely love that. Actually, if you want to work on your vibrato, I have a masterclass for you. It's in the description below. I want you to join me for this 3-part masterclass on how you can sing with vibrato. I'll see you there. Let's go back on this first section. I know, Zoe, stop going back on the same section. It's it's such a beautiful way to begin a song quietly with this increase in breath flow.
Where my heart is. Now I'm picking petals.
Yeah. Now I'm picking petals. That's a falsetto voice quality, which is stiff vocal folds with an increase in the breath flow there. She's going in and out of a twangy sound. She's going to do that later on, I'm so certain, even though I haven't heard the song before. And that is a perfect way for us to close the vocal folds, especially with that increase in breath flow.
Gardens. I think I like you like that. 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 I wanna make you some breakfast while you're stretching and yawning. I'll give you love at 2 p.m., not just at 2 in the morning. Wanna know all your secrets if we're just being honest. Got a lot of clothes, but I can make some room in my closet. We don't gotta be just a nighttime thing. Maybe we could see.
Oh, I said that it was jazzy influence, like a jazz influence, and then of course she started with this beat. Now, 100% jazz going on right here. I was just taken by the lyrics. I really love the way that she is using the breath to accentuate the drama or the intention of her. Like, she's using that breath to help her with the rhythm, but also to give us more of a punctuation of the emotion that she's trying to get across in that section of the song.
I wanna make you some breakfast while you're stretching and yawning. I'll give you love at 2 p.m., not just at 2 in the morning. Wanna know all your secrets if we're just being honest. Got a lot of clothes, but I can make some room in my closet. We don't gotta be just
Okay, especially room in my closet. So we've got that. Now, what's signaling jazz for me? I'm already thinking in terms of like, how would I explain this to my vocal academy students? Love at 2 a.m. And that introduction of the vibrato at the end of the phrase, that love at 2 a.m. and I'm in bed in my closet. That's specifically reasonably, like, what's reasonably jazzy. I will put a stake in the ground. I'm not going to be sometimes I try and like not be really direct with these things because I'm like, oh, maybe someone will make a fucking comment, you know what? Whatever. I've been teaching singing for a really long time. I also sing jazz. I'm not a jazz singer, but I sing a lot of jazz. So using that vibrato at the end of the phrases, releasing to that breath at the end of the phrase as well, and then this sort of lilting way in which she's singing. It's involving a lower larynx position with a lot of thyroid tilt, which is where the thyroid is here with the vocal folds lift. It's tilting forward to create that sort of slightly warmer sound.
Some room in my closet. We don't gotta be just a nighttime thing. Maybe we could see what the sunlight brings. Cause you got me on a tightrope, letting my high hopes out, and I can't doubt you. You got me on a tightrope, letting my high hopes out, and I think I like you like that.
So she's gone up to the C sharp 5 there, which is the C sharp above middle C. Why does that even matter, Zoe? Because that C sharp is actually relatively high within the standard female voice chest register. So when I have a singer coming to me in the studio or for our online classes in the Vocal Academy, then I will have a look at the music and I'll say, okay, well, that's going to a C sharp 5. Let's just see how we can go. You got me there on a tightrope. She's got that increase in twang in order to thin out the vocal folds in order to go further up in the range. Why does that matter about the C sharp though? Is because sometimes that can feel like it is quite high in the register, especially if it is over that passaggio, which is the transition point between the chest voice and the head voice. And we would want to modulate the key of the song in order to allow the voice to get there easily so that we could work up to maybe singing in the original key. I'm not the biggest fan of saying original key in any way, shape or form, but I know a lot of singers really like aim for that. Not sure why.
You got me on a tightrope, letting my high hopes out, and I think I like you like that. I think I like you like that. I think I like you like that. I think I like you like that.
I just want to point out these backing vocalists are using a really lovely, quite, let's just call it identityless sound. Okay, so that, I don't know why I needed to do that so many times. Anyway, I just quite liked singing that. Yes, living in my head is a jukebox. Okay, so the way that we create that sound, and I really love it because that's a very standard jazz sound, increase in the breath flow over top of not necessarily a falsetto sound, although a lot of jazz singers do sing in falsetto, but that could be, especially for the low note, that thicker vocal folds, which basically they're just open to allow the breath to come through. So rather than going that, which as you can hear, quite unstable, which would be falsetto in that lower section of the range. So the lower part of the range does not enjoy falsetto at all. So we just allow those thicker vocal folds to open in order to access that lower sound. So let's just go back so we can focus a little bit more on Alessia sound.
Hopes out, and I think I like you like that. 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 just a nighttime thing.
Oh, goodness me. I love these lyrics. Aren't they just fabulous? Really feel like she's capturing the essence. You just like, you know, the moment that she's in. And this is just why I implore all of the singers inside the Vocal Academy. Like, if you're writing, like if you are having a bit of a shit time, or if you're having a fantastic time, or if you're having an amazing time, or if you're having a, I don't know, sort of time, write it down. Put it into song, because someone else is going to be feeling exactly the same way. And we don't have to overcomplicate these songs. These are not complicated lyrics. These are not complicated rhythm patterns or even rhyming patterns, actually. She is expressing herself. I mean, obviously she's reached this level because she's been doing it for a very long time. But I just encourage you to just get out there with a pen and paper. Just write it down. And yes, I do mean with a pen and paper, because we do know from many studies that they have done that actually the connection of pen to paper with the act of writing rather than typing helps us with our neural processing. Just FYI.
And I think I like you like that. I think I like you like that. I think I like you like that. I think I like you like that.
Oh, she go, I think I like you like that. Releasing to the breath at the end. Ultimately, I've said this in a couple of the other Alessia Cara videos, but do excuse me for repeating myself, because this is ultimately where we want to get to, especially at a professional stand. I mean, she's been singing professionally for a very long time. We're going from that closed vocal, I think I like it like that, allowing that change in the vocal fold closure and that breath flow to not interrupt the sound, but also not interrupt the pitch. And she's not doing extraneous movements or extra movements with her jaw. We don't want those things. If you're looking to work on your vocal control, I have a free 3-day challenge for you down in the description below. It's to find your chest voice. I would love to help you to discover this amazing instrument that you have.
Sweeping me up like an air balloon, seeing through me like a bad excuse. You're like a warm autumn afternoon. I used to know how to keep my cool, but we don't gotta be just a nighttime thing. Maybe we can see what the sunlight brings. You got me on a tightrope, letting my high hopes out, and I can't doubt you. You got me on a tightrope.
I just wanted to double check whether Alessia Cara had spoken about vocal injury or anything going on with her voice, because sometimes this sort of slightly affected sound, we're having a little bit of crackle in the voice or a little bit of that constriction coming in, and what a lot of people love, that little bit of rasp, is sometimes associated with vocal fold nodules. Now, I am not a doctor. I do not know. I've not looked at Alessia Cara's voice, and I would never, ever diagnose a singer with, well, firstly, I would never diagnose a singer, but that is to be done by an ENT. So if you are struggling with vocal fold contact and you're like, Zoe, hey, my voice sounds raspy like this, but I lose my voice frequently, or I feel like I'm struggling with it, or I feel like it is, I'm not getting better, then I would encourage you to visit an ENT, which they would have a look at your voice with a camera just to make sure that there's nothing going on physiologically. So that would mean anything on the vocal folds themselves or something going on with the rest of the voice. You could also check out, I have a test for you to test for tongue tie. That could also be a reason for a little bit of that rasp coming into the voice. So you can check out the link in the description below. It's completely free. If you are having any type of vocal difficulties, I really do encourage you to take that test, because personally, I actually discovered last year that I had a tongue tie. Had it released, my life has never, it's never been better. Okay. I also go into depth about that in a podcast episode. There's so much to look at in the description. But I do really encourage you to do that, because up to 25% of the world's population can have a tongue restriction or even a lip restriction, which is the one up here under the top lip. So I do encourage you to take a little look at that. I'm not going to say what this, I don't know what it is, okay, that's causing the rasp. We'll have another look, and then we'll go into how you can maybe create a little bit of that rasp without having that affected sound. I get so many singers say like, I should really take up smoking. please don't.
Letting my high hopes up, and I think I like you like that. 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 Let the garden I had in me dry, but I might change my mind.
This little rasp in her sound could be created due to, like, I mean, there's a multitude of ways that we can create it, but the way that I would bring it in to, if I was coaching you, I would ask you to first do a little bit of vocal fold fry or vocal slack vocal folds. Now this needs to be done at very, very low volume, and we're not pushing it. I think I like it like that. I think I. So we've got that coming in at the beginning of the sound on a low volume will really help you. I really brought my volume down to match where I'm talking. We could also do this through a little bit of constriction, which is where we would tighten the area above it. I think I like it like that, which can sometimes help us to bring on that slack vocal folds as well. So using that constriction and slack is a great way for you to bring on that rasp without actually having anything going on with the vocal folds themselves. But this is something that really needs to, I cannot implore you. Sometimes singers do this and they're like, and they start coughing up everything. So let's take a little look at that on a one-to-one basis. You can apply for singing lessons down in the description below. I'd love to coach you through that because this is something that can really change the way that you are feeling about your own singing, but also the way that others are interpreting your singing.
At the garden I had in me dry, but I might change my mind. It made me change my mind. We're water and fire intertwined. You light me up inside. You get me every time. Hey.
Okay, before we go to the guy, you get me every time. She's got more vocal fold closure in that moment as well. So we're hearing that interchange between the vocal fold closure and the breath with a little bit of that rasp coming in. Again, you can create that through those two ways that I mentioned a little bit earlier, but low volume. It's got to be really, really low volume because that way we're going to be allowing the vocal folds to go in and out without too much breath flow going through, because that is going to stop, or it's going to either stop the closure of the vocal folds, or it is going to make the vocal folds kind of suck together, which creates a harder change or a harder switch between those vocal fold qualities. So we should, that's the falsetto that I was meaning. Stiff vocal folds, quite a fast breath flow, but we're using the aperture of the lips in order to not make it go, so that is a really great way to kind of like access that sound at the beginning. And a closed vowel. With that they're both closed vowels in the sense that the mouth is more closed, or there's more in the way, but the E is going to be brighter and the U is going to be darker due to the lip positioning, changing either a shorter vocal tract, which is the area from the lips down to the vocal folds, or a longer vocal tract on an U, which is going to darken the sound.
I think I like you like that. Yeah.
Okay, before we go on to part 4, if you want to check out the rest of her Giant Desk concert, then hit that subscribe button so that we can geek out about Alessia's incredible voice more. But that's all I've got for today's video. We have so many multitudes of sounds, but these need to really be looked at on especially on like a singular basis, to kind of get a feel for the sound. What's going on with the breath flow? What's going on with the vocal fold closure? How is she creating the sounds? How are you creating those sounds? And then we start to piece them together with the emotions in mind, because ultimately we're wanting to add on the performance and the emotions, and to be able to sit there and not sort of like look like we're sitting up straight like pencils. And that's why I really do encourage you to sign up for the Vocal Academy. You can apply in the description below, because we are an application-only singing school where we really help singers who want to get the most out of their vocal training. We have group classes, group practice groups, open coaching, as well as master classes, and most importantly, and this is the only vocal program out there that has this hybrid approach of not only group classes as well as one-to-one tuition, because honestly, I'll come closer. I've been a singing teacher for 18 years, and there is no way in hell that you are going to create the sounds that you want to create in the time frame that you want to create them without those one-to-one lessons. We make sure that you're getting exactly what you need. We create your individual blueprint. We give you that map. We tell you exactly how to practice. We are holding your hand throughout the whole process, and you can submit videos for feedback as well between lessons. Oh my God, it's all in there. So apply. I'd love to help you to discover this incredible voice that you have inside you that's just waiting to come out with the right tuition. It's all down there. Check out some more of the Tiny Disc up here. We've got part 1 and part 2. And just remember, anyone can learn to sing. It's a beautiful set of muscles. Alessia's is just like amazing. Just remember, she's been a professional singer for a very, very long time. So we're going to, in the other videos, we're looking at like what's happening with her posture. Why maybe that won't work for you. What's going on? How can you adapt to these sorts of sounds? So check out her other performances, and I'll see you around here next time. Have you seen?